Iowa's worked their way back to being a top defense again. What makes Phil Parker's defense so difficult to dissect?
It ain't no different than what it was in 2001 when I was at Texas Tech and played these guys in the Alamo Bowl. I'm being serious. I mean, it's just, they've been there, 25 years or whatever it is, and it's been the same forever. I mean, for them to be able to sustain it like they have is something that's very unique and probably never going to be duplicated again. So same as it was last year. I go back. Obviously 25 years ago, there's going to be some things that are a little different, but same as it was last year. Just they're a plug and play team. I thought they had really good players last year, and the ones that they lost, they've replaced them with really good players this year. So, it ain't real tricky. They're just sound with everything that they do. And from a coaching perspective, you got to respect that.
Given that this is a game that's at the same day every year, and it's the one opponent that Nebraska knows it's going to have, do you guys have a little bit more time to think about how you approach this game, or is it more of a, hey, when it's Iowa week, then we'll focus on Iowa?
No, it means a little more. It means a little more. It means a little bit more to, the fan base. And I know it means a lot more to them. It means a lot to Coach Rule, coaches, players. I say this, going back to, coaching in this game last year, it felt different. I've only been in a couple of these type rival games, Pitt, West Virginia. I was only a part of that once, but it felt different. Bedlam, I was only a part of that once. Oklahoma State, it just felt different, and I had that feeling last year against these guys. So, we're probably going to put a little bit more into it, and that's like some off-season stuff and just looking at it and, how Coach Rule runs the program is we're trying to put ourselves in a position where we can win this game. It hadn't happened in a while. We recognize that, we see it, we feel it, and it means a lot to us to go out there and play this game. So excited for the challenge.
I'm interested. What do you mean by felt different? What feels different?
Just the buzz around it. Just the buzz around it. I can't explain. I can't explain what it is, but it just means more. That these rival games, and like I said, I've only been in like 3 of them, but those just had that feeling last year that I'd had in years past, and it's just there's not a whole lot of those rival games that exist anymore. A lot of them have kind of gone away. Bedlam's one that's went away. The backyard brawl is one that went away. And so the ones that are out there, I know you gotta kind of relish the opportunity to be able to play those games. So it kind of sucks that a lot of those have went away. This one hadn't. So let's enjoy it.
How do you think that? In what ways did playing Penn State help Latif? Like just the totality of that game and the weekend and all of that.
I thought his presence was good. His he wasn't wide-eyed. He wasn't. He was calm. He communicated well. And that was challenging. That was a buzzsaw that we ran into, and it existed everywhere. And so give Penn State credit. I mean, they kind of found their groove a little bit. And I don't really want to revisit that, to be honest with you. But just from a TJ's perspective, I mean, I thought he went out there and just played ball. And the moment wasn't too big for him. This is be his first home game start here in Memorial Stadium. But how do you think he's going to respond? I got all the confidence in the world in him just based on how he responded against USC, how he, first game on the road in that atmosphere. Man, what an awesome place that was. But and he had to handle silent count, which was new for him, and I thought he handled it well. We had a couple of pre-snap penalties that they weren't on him, and so then he went out there and played okay, So I think he'll get a week better. This is a whole nother challenge, whole nother opponent, whole different defense, and be a different game plan for him. And he's out there executing it. I thought he did a good job today. Elements are going to play a role. I mean, it's that time of the year, and we were out there practicing in it, and I thought he spun it around as good as he could in the conditions that were out there today. There'll be different type of conditions again on Saturday, but I got no reason to believe that he's not going to go out there and play his best.
What about his demeanor, like in all of these new experiences that he's having for three weeks now? What's maybe struck you as something that stands out, considering that he's a true freshman?
Poise, just being calm in the moment. He hasn't had many communication hiccups, which is impressive for a true freshman. I mean, we're blessed to have that with Dylan last year too. From a true freshman perspective, things can get wordy at times and you can get tripped up. I mean, it tripped me up last year a few times when I first got here, and so just the communication aspect, I think it's been good. And to him, it's just, he says it all the time, man. It's just football. Just go out there and play, And so he's got a confidence about him that that I think is special, and just likes to get out there and play ball. So looking forward to watching him compete.
What needs to get better down near the goal line? I mean, especially if it comes down to another fourth and goal situation.
Yeah, we gotta execute blocks. I mean, trust me, I've beat myself up on that first drive. As far as what I could do different, what I should have done different. You got it to 3rd and 2, and the previous 3 plays that we ran the ball, we got about 58 yards. What do you think I'm supposed to do? And so, could I have called a better play? In hindsight, yeah, but you get 58 yards in 3 plays. And I had confidence in our guys up front, and we got 1 yard, and I'm like, surely we're going to get another one. And we missed the block, and they shedded a couple of blocks. Give them credit; they were ready to play. And just in general, it wasn't, by no means was it good last week, good enough for any of that. Where we were getting 5-6 yard chunks, we were getting 2-3 yard chunks, which put us in a lot of 3rd down situations. The conversions I thought were okay. We hit 9 out of 18 on 3rd down. Obviously the 4th down stuff was garbage. But some of that was the way the game went, and so, it's been a topic that I've talked about since I've got here. I mean, we gotta finish in the red zone. We've done a spotty job of that, and then we've done a good job of that, and last week it was spotty again.
On Friday, just what has that group meant to you since you've been here?
Senior days, they just don't let them be emotional. I mean, it's more about the memory, and the only way it's a good one is if you win, and so, but those guys have been great, and you just appreciate everything that those guys have done for the program. You got a couple of guys like Dane and Rocca that's just been here for a couple of years, but then you got, Henry and Teddy and Turner and Heinrich and those guys that have been here for a long time, and so, really want those guys to one, experience beating Iowa, and 2, doing it on senior day would be big for them and big for the program as well.
You mentioned the conditions, the weather. Friday looks like 30 degrees, windy, maybe snow.
That's going to be very pleasant compared to what it was last year.
Other than maybe making it more difficult to throw the ball, like, how do you think that it impacts the mentality of the teams, both teams in this game?
Yeah, it feels like, if it's as windy as it is out there today, I mean, it's gonna affect it. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, if it's blowing 30, 40 miles an hour, that makes it challenging, and so will it affect play calling? I mean, it most certainly could, but we've ran the ball 70-75% of the time. They do the same thing, and so if it is those conditions, then I think both teams are experienced and understand the nature of what it is. Like I said, last year was brutal, and I don't know what it was 2 years ago. I would assume it was something that was very similar. This game's going to be like that every year, and so I think everybody's professional enough to understand how they should call it based on what you're looking at.
The conditions from last year, where does that rank in terms of coldest?
That's the coldest game I've ever been part of. I grew up in Iowa. I've played in a lot of cold games. That was cold. I mean, it was what, 8 degrees. It was cold, you know. So it's that time of the year, and we're in the Midwest, and it's what it is.
Matt said one of their superpowers is how comfortable they feel in close games. How have you seen this team with some of the win at Maryland, Cincinnati kind of grow maybe and being ready for that type of?
Yeah, I think, you know, throughout the course of this year, being able to close out games, win close games, I think has been an obvious step in the right direction. You know, you just go back and look at this game the last 2 years. It's, you know, Coach reminded everybody out there of it today. I mean, it came down to last-second field goals the last 2 years. You look at Iowa last week, they did it again. You know, it is their superpower. They're comfortable when those games are tight. They're comfortable when those games are very close, and it comes down to the last second. That's who they are. That's the way they've been for 25 years. We're going into year 3 to the point where I think we've made progress on it, and you know that's what you got to expect. You know, because that's just usually the way this game is.
All good?
All right, thank you.
Questions for Coach?
Okay, our way.
I know you don't want to probably recap a lot of what happened at Penn State, but what went wrong in that game?
I think they kicked our ass. Obviously, that's the obvious answer. They had a plan to come in and run the football. They were a big physical, very big and very physical offensive line that played very well together. They were a motivated team. Not to say they weren't in the past, but you can clearly see the different level of energy and execution. Their backs are 2 very good backs. You know, we had a plan. We knew they were going to run the ball. We had multiple blitzes, multiple fronts. We played 3 down fronts, 4 down fronts, 5 down fronts. We blitzed. We played base. We played single high man, single high zone, and they had an answer for everything. So, kind of chalk it up to, it is what it is. It wasn't our best day at the office, and we quickly have moved on to Iowa. But there's obviously still a lot of stuff to learn from it, and get better because of it now and in the future.
Is it transferable that Iowa's probably not going to do exactly the same things, but like that Iowa's also a physical team that likes to run the ball?
Yeah, Iowa does what they do. You know, I've watched over the last couple of days. Back when I was at Penn State playing Iowa, I watched when I was at Minnesota playing Iowa. I watched us playing Iowa last year, and the only thing that changes are the names on the back of the jerseys. But in terms of how they play, I legitimately went up and watched the 2010, I believe, Minnesota-Iowa game last night, and it's essentially they're going to line up. They're going to run the run plays that they run out of the formations that they run them out of. They're going to know how to block every front that you put out there. And it just comes down to, and Matt just made a point to the players, that this is a game that comes down to their players versus our players. We're not going to be overly complicated on defense, not to say that we really were. We might have been a little bit too complicated last week just to try to stop the run, but we're going to line up and know that the run's coming and get off blocks and try to make tackles. Not try, we are going to do that and put our best foot forward.
When a team is hitting those edge runs, what's going wrong?
We're losing the edge. That's what happens. I mean, so the big run, I think the 3rd or 4th play of the game where they got over the edge to our boundary, we had a couple guys cut off on the front side. And then the DBs that were supposed to be the edge players, there was a big crease in the middle, so they lagged back. And then Allen's good enough to press the gap and then take the edge. So I know there was some references to some execution errors in the game, and that was one of a couple of them on the same play. Is we're slanting the line actually to where they're running the football. They're cutting us off, and if you cut off movement and if you have to blitz to stop the run, you're either going to make a play in the backfield or there's a chance that there's going to be a big play for them. So that's ultimately what happened on that play.
Senior day, Dana was just saying you can't get guys can't get too emotional about it. Has that been a key as you've gone through your coaching career on days like this?
Yeah, you have to, because the fact of the matter is there is going to be emotions out there because everybody dreams to play in the National Football League, but the practicality of that is maybe 1% of our roster, 2% of our roster will. So for some of these guys, this is the last, thankfully we've qualified for a bowl game, but this is their last time in that stadium. This is their last time kind of, playing in a sequence of a season. So, and for some of them, it might be the last time they play. So, you got to try to eliminate the emotions, but it's also why these games at this time of the year, they're so tightly contested because everybody knows this is the last one for a while. There's nothing holding them back. There's no what's next. It's about this play, the next play, playing your tail off and playing like it is. You try to get the players to play every play like it's their last, but sometimes that's just a quote. But they clearly are in games like this. That's why all these games come down to the wire, and you see some teams that are supposed to win by 20 points get upset because everybody's playing like it is their last time out there, and the level of intensity and the level of urgency, I think, is just a little higher.
They rotate a lot of guys in and out at running back. I mean, how do you kind of stay fresh, and how do you kind of keep up with that throughout the pace of the game?
Yeah, they do. It's a good question. I was actually this morning looking at all their runs by concept, and I did keep noting that there's probably 3 or 4 guys that they've played, and they all are clearly very similar. So, with us, it's really not. I'm not really focused on which running backs in the game. Because they all run the same runs. There's nothing that you can say like, hey, this guy's in there when they run their gap schemes, and this guy's in there when they run their mid zones or outside zones. I mean, they've had some injuries. Guys have come back from injuries, but an Iowa back is an Iowa back. It's a guy that can press the hole, cut back. They run behind their pads. They're physical. They're strong. So,
Not sure when we'll chat with you again. So, big picture question as it relates to the run defense. What do you feel like needs to get better, big picture, like even after Iowa, going forward?
I feel like I have some answers to that. I mean, the issues are fundamentals. Keep working on fundamentals. We have a lot of young players that I think are going to get better. I think after the season, we have to improve our roster as well as it relates to, run defenders, the level of physicality, the level of size, the level of the ability to be harder to block, so to speak. We've committed a lot of schematic resources this year to stopping the run, and sometimes that gets dangerous. It got dangerous last week when we're blitzing to stop the run, and the quarterback can go 11 for 12 because we're having to pressure to stop the run, which exposes your coverages. So I think it's a collective effort of scheme. It's a collective effort of improving your current players and then doing a great job that when you have the opportunity to improve your roster at the end of the year, you do that with a specific intent in mind, and that would be one of them.
What's your evaluation of the red zone defense and how it's looked in that part of the
It's
field?
the red zone defense. So, like, if you look at our red zone defense, there's two stats that matter. Really, there's only one stat in football ultimately that matters. It's how many points you're giving up a game. That's all that matters. But when you look at our red zone defense, I think that we're 9th in the country in terms of actually letting people down there. So we're doing a very good job of not letting them get down there relative to the other 136 teams in the league. However, when they do get down there, they score. I think we're 116 or something like that as it relates to. So it's a weird, kind of dichotomy of we're doing a good job of not letting them get down there, but when they get down there, it's the same problem we have out in the field. They're running it in. It really comes down to 4 things. It's the run game, it's the quarterback run game and scrambles, it's penalties, have extended drives in the red zone, because I just looked at that about 3 days ago. Those 3 things are on my board. And then our 3rd down and 4th down defense hasn't been elite down there. It's just been average, because teams tend to go for it a little bit more on 4th down, and the quarterback tends to scramble, a lot more on 3rd down. So it's really those areas. It's the run defense. It's being able to tackle the quarterback, whether he scrambles or whether it's a designed run. It's being smart. We've had 3 or 4 penalties on 3rd down, and then our 4th down defense. But that all kind of gets wrapped up into one of our, biggest focuses in the offseason is going to be improving every aspect of our ability to defend the run, and that's got to be our number one intent.
You, of course, see all those guys who, whether they're redshirting or they're still down on the depth chart on that defensive line at practice. How do you feel about what's in the pipeline at that group?
Like I said, I feel like we have some good young players that have played, freshmen or sophomores, that I think could help us and will continue to help us. We have two injured D linemen that, you know, I haven't seen them do anything other than high school, but the hope is that they're going to be able to help us. So there's some guys there, but and that's our job to improve them over the next week and in the bowl season. But in the recruiting season and the you know, player acquisition season, we have to go get better in that area.
Is size and
It's always
just
matter.
an issue
Big
up front?
people. Yeah, I mean, football's a game about big men, like big men. Whether you're coaching in the NFL, if you look at the best run defenses in the NFL, those guys their interior line is 330, 335. You look at the size of Penn State's offensive line; they were all 6'5", 6'6", 3 something across the board. You know, there's exceptions. There's Aaron Donalds out there, and there's some exceptions of undersized defensive linemen that can be elite, but you can't have a roster full of exceptions. Not saying that we do, but in order to stop the run, your level of size, your girth, your level of your ability to knock the line of scrimmage back. I mean, running the ball is about one man moving another man off of a spot that he doesn't want to get knocked off of, and that's an area that we're cognizant of, and we just got to keep working at.
I guess, another question, so we would just, I don't know, when talk to you again, but when you look at the defense from training camp to now, what areas do you think, obviously the run defense is one you want to get better, what areas do you think the defense improved?
Well, I think that as a whole, we have improved in a lot of areas. You know, the concern in the offseason really goes to the offseason was we weren't great in the secondary. Well, we improved that with player acquisition, and we improved that with coaching, and we improved that with kind of continuity as well. You know, there's continuity that's important in coaching, is that these players come through the system, they keep hearing it from the same coaches are coaching it the right way. And I think we saw dramatic improvement in our back seven and how we defended, not only how we defended the pass, but some of our back seven players are good run defenders. They've had to make way too many tackles in the run game. Rex Guthrie, Sierra, Donnie Jones to make a point. Heck, Donnie Jones, we were talking about the other day, he's a corner and he's probably one of our most physical players, and I don't want to have our corner be one of our most physical players. So I think the collective of the back seven and how we've defended on the perimeter and how we've defended the pass has gotten dramatically better from last year. And then obviously with we have to, you can't rob Peter to pay Paul. So it's not like all of a sudden we can just put everything into stopping the run and be average or below average against the pass. The objective is to be strong in both areas with our personnel, our scheme, and our coaching. So that will be the intent, and I think that's how you improve it, just like the proof is in the pudding, how we went from where we were in the secondary last year to where we are now. Excuse me, and we've got to do the same thing with our run defense.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
How's everyone doing? Doing well, doing well.
How conscious are you of Friday to not let the emotions sway you one way or the other?
Yeah, I think it just goes back. You try to treat it like any other game. You try to, it's treated like any other game. Try to prepare the same way we prepare in the whole season. I think at this point, if you were to do more, then you probably weren't doing enough to begin with. So just try to keep doing our process, and hopefully that shows on Friday.
Coach Cole, I don't know if you're listening to it or not, but name dropped you as somebody who, deserves a lot of credit even though you don't necessarily get it. What does that mean to you that your coach is telling the world about you?
It means a lot. I think my relationship with Coach Rule has grown quite a bit since he first got here. I don't know if he mentioned, but he asked me to speak to the team yesterday. So that was, it was a big moment. There were times early in my career here where I was literally, sitting on the floor in the back of the team meeting room. I didn't have a seat, and now I'm getting asked to speak at the front. So it's pretty cool to be recognized in that way.
What has your favorite memory been since you've been here?
That's a good question. I think the Colorado game last year is probably my favorite memory. that game, just the juice in the stadium. It felt like games when I was going as a kid. I remember I was at the Miami game when I was a kid with my dad, and I asked him, why are the fans so, why are they so upset? I didn't quite understand it, but that's kind of the vibe I felt out there that day.
What'd you say to the team when you addressed them?
I said, kind of broke it down. Like I just kind of broke down how the game's gonna go. You know what type of game you're getting into when you play Iowa. I steered kind of away from talking about the rivalry, more just like what we have to do and what type of game it's gonna be.
What is that? I mean, what type of game is this?
They've kind of been making fun of me, but I told the team, it's a buckle your chin strap game. It's it's smash mouth. It's gonna come down to the fourth quarter. It's gonna come down to making a few plays at the end of the fourth quarter, and that's what we've been trying to pride ourselves on this year. So I think it's a sort of a culture versus culture game.
What does it mean to you to just see it through at one program for 5 years? The first few years you didn't hardly play.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen as much anymore in college football.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said they were all good times. There were definitely moments where I was just questioning if I was good enough to be here, question if it was all going to be worth it. At the end of the day. But I think if I had a crystal ball and you would have told me at the start, this is how it was going to play out, I would have said sign me up.
Special teams are you on this year?
I've started on all the units.
What do you think if you had to summarize it, what's been the difference with what has happened this year in that part of the game?
I would say, Coach Eckler from the start, he, his teaching progressions, they're second to none. You could ask anybody on the team, our how we're taught, like our techniques, and they'd be able to list them off just like that. So it was that, and then it was just the buy-in. He's so confident. And he'll show a clip of it working at his previous stop, and then he shows a clip of us in practice, and then the next clip is us ultimately doing it in the game. So when you start seeing stuff like that, it's hard not to be a believer.
Iowa's special teams won a lot of games over the years. You guys have done that this year. Is this you look forward to that kind of match?
Yeah, definitely excited. Anytime you get to as a competitor, anytime you get to go up against what people are saying is the best, that's it usually brings the best out of you. So we're definitely excited and fired up.
How much is number 21 in the discussion, the return man?
Yeah, I mean he was Jet Award winner last year. He's a dude. So we're gonna have to all hands on deck. We got to get him on the ground.
Hey, with your career here too, was there a turning point for you when you felt like you were able to get onto the field a little bit more often?
Yeah, I think when Coach Butler got here and he was my defensive backs coach, I think he, in a lot of ways, he unlocked me as a player. I think that was sort of like the camp where I kind of, I cracked the two deep and started to be able to contribute after that. So it's just his teaching style was one that resonated with me, and I was able to take his coaching and apply it. So
Any pointer in particular that has helped you since then?
just all about your eyes. Everything's all about your eyes.
Quickly, your 5 years?
Yeah, went by very quick. I actually just sent my mom a picture from move-in day yesterday, so it feels like yesterday.
Anything else, Derek?
No. All right, thank you guys.
Questions?
your coaches said on senior day, you got to control your emotions. Obviously, you're going to have some, but is that a key to this one when you know what you'll have all the game and all that?
Yeah, I definitely, obviously, it's a new experience for me, but definitely feel like it's going to be a thing to do, having to control your emotions, not trying to get too emotional, too sad, or too anything like that, and just staying in the moment, enjoying the game, being present.
What
would-
has your favorite memory been since you've been here?
That's a good question. I don't know if I could pinpoint a specific moment, but I would probably just say like the time with my teammates, getting to know my teammates. I feel like I've really built some lifelong connections here, so I'm super thankful for that. So I just think that just my time with my team, time with the DBs, whether it's like us watching film at my house or like us going out to eat or our Thursday night dinners and stuff like that, like those are probably my favorite moments.
What'd you find yourself thinking when you were at Iowa's stadium last year? Guy from LA, probably grew up dreaming of playing in the USC UCLA game that weekend, and it's like 5 degrees outside, and
Yeah.
there you are.
It's funny you asked that. Like I was just earlier today, I was talking with Marsh, and I was like, man, we're really in Nebraska. Like it's crazy, like being that as a kid from LA, like you wouldn't even think like that's where you would end up. But life, everybody's journey is different. Life takes you wherever. And I think that being here has been a great thing for me. So last year when I was at Iowa, I definitely was like, dang, like this is crazy. Like I've never even expected to be at this stadium, but it was really cool experience.
Did that experience, the game, everything around the game, did you get feel like you got a taste of what that series means, that rivalry means to the players and the fans and the coaches?
100%. I already knew like that was a rivalry before I got here, but definitely through just like the week of practice and just like the vibe of the game, the way that the fans were, like I could just understand like the passion that comes behind that rivalry. So
Was the game last year, when you think back on it, and just the way it unfolded, and the stuff that happened at the beginning of the game, does that fuel your emotions going into this game?
I definitely think there's probably still some lingering feelings, but it's important to stay in the moment. Recognize that you can't control the past, but you can learn from it. So I think that we've seen how things have gone in the past, and we have to make sure that we're aware of those things going forward.
I'm asking this in the context of Iowa kind of dominating this series. What impresses you most about what you see from Iowa, big picture?
I would say I'm very impressed by their ability just to stay calm. They're in close games very frequently, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. And I think that is a true testament of a good team, one that works together and one that executes their assignments and stuff like that. So it'll be a great challenge for us. So I'm impressed by that, the way that they do that.
How do you feel about Nebraska in that regard right now?
Right. I think that we've had some times where we've had lapses, mental lapses, and that's I take responsibility for that. I feel like as a leader on the defense, it's my job to make sure that we're all together, all on the same page. And if that doesn't happen, I want to point to the senior leadership. So as somebody that's a leader, I have to be better and making sure that everybody is doing what they need to be doing.
Derek Branch spoke to the team yesterday, just knowing how his career started here to where it's going to now. Just how special is that moment?
Super special. I mean, DB has probably been one of the most impactful people in me since I've been here in Nebraska. He actually, when I first got here, like my first day, like Coach Rule sent him to pick me up from the airport. So like he picked me up, or actually from my apartment. He picked me up, like took me around. Like he was the first person I met. He's my hotel roommate. Hearing his story, just how he was, in the team meeting room with nowhere to sit or in a separate locker room when he first got here, you know what I'm saying? To being a player that's impacting the game, in a huge way on special teams and a player that's leading the team and a player that's, keeping people in line, is awesome. And I know, his younger self is for sure proud of him. So it was really cool getting to see him get up there and talk.
Is there anything that's transferable from Penn State to Iowa when you talk about the team that runs it a lot, but you guys on the back end need to be disciplined for when they do take their shots downfield?
Definitely. I think that was something that we learned, last week, having good run pass keys. I think that, like I said, Penn State did a good job of, letting their pass plays come off of their run looks. So, they were doing a good job of kind of getting the coverage to break down a little bit and finding little holes in it. So I think that we've seen that happen to us now, and we know that that's something that we have to be aware of, and we'll be more diligent when I run pass keys.
As you've reflected on it, what has Nebraska and this experience just meant to you?
I mean, it's meant the world, honestly. Like I feel like it's been a transformative thing for me. Like before I came out here, I was a little bit younger. I had played football, but I think that I had a lot of room to grow as a person and, as a man. And I think that I had leadership qualities, but I needed to be in a position where I could, or show them. And I think that, once I got here, I was struggling, struggling to figure things out, get into the system, understand the way things work. But over time, through support of my teammates, through support of my coaches, my family, my friends, I figured things out. And, I just continue to get better and continue to work at myself and work at my craft. And so I'm grateful for Nebraska. I'm grateful for Coach Rule giving me the chance to come here and play, for the fans showing me love. It's been an amazing time, so I'm very thankful for it. I want to say one more thing. People have kind of, throughout the year, people have talked about like the DB group and, how I've been doing well. And I think that what's really cool about that is like how, we're so close as a room, and because, we're doing good on defense, you got guys that are not playing on defense as much, that are excelling on special teams. So I just wanted to shout out those guys because, they've been doing a great job all year, and they haven't really gotten the love for it. Like Jeremiah Charles doing an amazing job on special teams. Derek Branch is doing great on special teams. Bryce Turner, Jameer Khan, Caleb Benning. So, dudes in the DB room have been doing an awesome job, and they don't always get the love. So I just wanted to say that about them real quick. But yeah, all right, y'all have a good one.
How y'all doing?
Deshaun, you were kind of gifted that extra year through the junior college eligibility piece. How do you feel like that's, now with most of the season behind you, how do you feel like that's benefited you and helped you maybe prepare for the next level?
I mean, it helped me a lot. I mean, I feel like it was beneficial for me to come back. I mean, so yeah, just coming back and just learning the game a little bit more, learning techniques a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, working on my craft. I mean, I feel like it was very beneficial.
Just from your experience with this matchup, what does Iowa bring to the table in terms of the run game every year?
Yeah, with their run game, man, they're very physical. I mean, obviously they want to keep the game close. They want to milk the clock, and they just want to win the game on special teams. So I mean, yeah, man, they're gonna come in here and try to run the ball, and we're gonna be up for the test.
Ahead of senior day last year, you also spoke just about what this place has meant to you, because you didn't know that this year was possible, right?
Right.
So as you look back on your college career, what has this place meant to you, knowing that you got a bonus year?
I mean, this place is very special to me. I mean, just being here, going through the ups and the downs, man, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, it helped me develop me into a better man. And, obviously what Coach Rule is doing here, I mean, you know what I'm saying, he's developing boys to men, and, you know what I'm saying, trying to put them out in a better situation. And I feel like, this place has done that for me, and for all the guys that's coming here and wanting to be a better football player and a better human. I feel like Nebraska is the best place for you.
I know there are many. What is a memory from this place that sticks out to you?
Memory for me, it sticks out to me. I see my first time walking out on the field against North Dakota. It's like 2 minutes left in the game. It was my first time getting in the game in Memorial Stadium. And I just look around, the crowd's just roaring, like, you know what I mean? And, that was a great feeling. And I remember that for the rest of my life.
Who's another senior or two that's maybe meant a lot to you personally since you've been here?
Another senior? Yeah. That's meant a lot to me here, like now.
Yeah, who's going to be part of the senior?
Oh, who's going to be part? Okay, cool. Another senior that's been, obviously Marquise Buford. I mean, Javen Wright, Sierra Wright, who else? But yeah, mainly those guys. I mean, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, them being on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, those guys mean a lot to me. And I mean, we try to push each other every day, and I feel like we helped each other.
What can you say about Marquise in particular? Maybe he hasn't played quite as much as he thought he was going to this year, but how he's stayed as a leader and everything.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's a grown man right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't never let his circus sense change the way how he came and prepared every day. So, I mean, I respect Marquise. Like every day you look at him, he probably hurting or something like that. He'll never show it on his face, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, just having him around, man, he a great leader, bro. Like, probably one of the greatest leaders I've ever seen. So, yeah. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Hello. Yes.
What has this place meant to you?
It means a lot. I've been here for 5 years. I've been through a lot. I've been a lot through coach changes, position changes. I've seen the people that I've, grown strong connections to transfer out. But this place, regardless of all the, the downs that probably, came around, it's been more than just what I've asked for. It's been a blessing. I've been grateful to just be a part of this community. I mean, I couldn't ask more from a fan base. I couldn't ask more from a coaching staff, the current coaching staff. It just means a lot to me. I feel like it's something that I pride myself in, saying that I've been here all 5 years.
Of those, all the memories you've had over the last 5 years, what has been one of your favorites thus far?
one of my favorites, I would say specifically, I mean, I would say it's more recent. So like each week we do this thing with our position group where we just go out to eat. And I feel like that's just something that kind of, even though it's very small, like I feel like it's just something that kind of, it's a combination of just things that like I really love. Like it's the sense of like brotherhood and family that I could just get other than like people that are my blood. Like I can go back home and I can have all my family, but it's like this is something that I created for myself. I created the people around me in my positions group with the linebackers. They've meant a lot for me these past 3 years I've been a linebacker, and just for me to just be able to go each week, just eat, just talk, and just just have a just break bread is just awesome.
Coach Roll really highlighted your play on special teams the other day. He said even like the NFL should take a look at a guy like that and what you can do. What's that mean to come from not playing as much to where you are this season?
Yo, it means everything. Like, I feel like a lot of my time here hasn't been what I've planned for myself. But for me to this year to kind of, emphasize my talent and, do the things that I can, regardless if it's just like on like special teams, like that meant a lot for me. Honestly, it meant the world. Like hearing that, like just being able to hear that just meant a lot. I feel seen. I feel like a lot of the things that I've done to get to the point where I'm at meant something. So it really meant a lot for me.
Derek Branch talked to the team yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Just what did that mean to you, knowing where he started and now he's up in front of everybody addressing everybody?
Yeah, Derek Branch, my goodness, that's my guy. I love Derek Branch with a passion. That's we came in together. We were both walk-ons in the same class. We were both came in under Frost as walk-ons, and for us to be like, I believe, it's just only us two now. It's been 5 years, just us. Like now it's just us. Like that meant a lot for me. Like for me to see everything that he's been through personally, as a player, as a person, it means the world for me to see the strides that he's taken to get to where he's at now, because it's something that I don't think anybody else deserves the position that he's getting. I think that he's the most deserving person for that. Like that's I can talk about for hours. He's probably one of the best people I've known.
Iowa's always been a really good special teams program. Yeah. How much do you look forward to this matchup with the confidence you guys have too?
Yes. I'm excited. I love competition. I'm excited just to see where we hold up. I know that we're gonna do our best and we're gonna outplay them. And just for us to be able to emphasize the talents that we've done, like the things that we've done this year, it means a lot. Like we've done a lot on special teams, and just for us to go against such a well-performing special teams, it means a lot. I feel like we're gonna be able to perform to a standard in which we can expressively show what we are capable of. So
Why is their punt and their kick returner? What makes him so good?
He's a very athletic person. He has a lot of burst, a lot of speed. He has like an extra gear to him. So I feel like that's something that really highlights his ability to be a good punt returner and kick returner.
You guys have probably won the special teams battle pretty much every time this season or close to it.
Yeah.
Is the fact that I was really good at that present kind of a unique challenge? Like this is strength against strength.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's more of a challenge. I feel like it's just something that we just like is what's next. Like it's just something that we're just gonna tackle on like how we tackle everything else. We're gonna do the best that we can. We're gonna capitalize on our abilities and just do that. I feel like we've done well, and we're gonna keep doing well regardless of who we go against.
For you and Branch and Javen Wright to be going out together on senior day, what's it been like for you, the three of you, and maybe there's some others in this group, but especially since you guys are seniors, who have seen your dads who played here, in some cases together, kind of go through this experience with you over the years?
Yeah. It's like Javen's my guy too. Like we've been through it. We've been close for the longest as well. So just for me to establish my own relationships with Derek Branch and Javen Wright, like regardless of the fact that their dads play with my dad, like it means a lot. I feel like it's like a full circle moment. Like it's honestly like destiny. Like it's more than just our legacies. It's something that's just written out for us, and I feel like it really couldn't end in a better way for us.
There's some other guys in that club too, like the younger players on the team, like Caleb and Maverick Noonan and Clark and Smith on the offensive side, who like, do you guys have a kinship because you have that family connection?
I wouldn't say it's more. I feel like I was saying, like with Derek and Javen, like I feel like we established our own relationships kind of apart from our fathers. But I feel like there also is that underlying fact that our dads did play. So I feel like in times that's something that we could talk about. Like that's something that just like connects us in a certain type of way. But I wouldn't say it's more than just like, oh, we have something special solely because of our dads. But I feel like it's something that, and when mentioned, I feel like that's something that really, binds us together in a certain type of way. So.
Coach Eck was nominated for the award that goes to the best assistant coach in the nation. That list came out today. What have you liked about playing for him?
Man, Coach Eck he's been a blessing. He really has. Like, it's just for him to come in at this time of my career when it comes to football, I couldn't really ask for a better coach when it came to how I, perform on special teams. I didn't even know that until you just said that's awesome. That makes me feel like so happy just to see, because he's deserved it. I feel like he's came in here, he's done really well with the program when it came to special teams. I feel like he's elevated. I feel like he's pulled the potential out of a lot of players on the team that maybe haven't shown it to the extent that I feel like they should, or some other people should feel that they should. But it's just awesome. Like I'm so proud of him. I love that guy. I really do. I couldn't ask for a better special teams coach.
Did he help unlock something in you? I mean, you're playing in every game this year for the first time.
Yes.
What are you doing that?
I feel like he's seen a lot of abilities in me that maybe some other people haven't. I wouldn't say it's something that's more unique that he's seen. I just feel like he's put a lot of effort into, seeing what I have and just making sure that I apply it. I feel like it's something that he's done well in pushing me, I would say.
Anything else, Mike?
Thank you guys, yes.
And maybe one other.
Guys.
Questions?
Has it hit you yet that senior day on Friday?
Yeah, it hit me about last week, actually. So just had to try and stay focused on the job ahead and not get too caught up, but also enjoy it.
What has been, I know you've been here for a long time, so there's a lot of memories, but what's one of your favorites that you look back on?
I always think, just the feeling I got after Northern Illinois in 2023, that was something special for me. First start in Memorial Stadium, we were 0-2 at the time, just trying to find a way to win our first game with Coach Rule, and finding a way to do that my first game was really special, and I think that's one I'll never forget.
How would you describe Iowa, this rivalry? What words would you put to it?
Yeah, I think, for me, I don't think really, even growing up, it was always hard to picture Iowa as this, big rivalry game. You watch Michigan, Ohio State, and Alabama, Auburn, and it doesn't quite have that feel, but there is something a little different there. There's not quite as much history as some of those games, but I think there's always Nebraska and Iowa guys, we see each other a lot at camps. A lot of times, I was on visits with a lot of guys who went to Iowa, and there's always I think we're always just trying to compete to see who between the two states. It's a battle for who's the toughest, who's the hardest working, and so I think that this game really signifies that, and I think there's no better play style than what we bring to the table every year to signify that, I think.
Is
Did last year's game contribute to the fierceness of this rivalry?
I would say so. I mean, I think every year where, there's a little, it's on the field, but it's also kind of off the field antics, stuff like that. I think there's always a little bit of, you remember that. And, 2023, they were, and I think even the year before I got here in 2020, I think they were waving us off and, making fun of us and their presser. And so, it's just all those things, I wasn't here for that. But those seniors in 2021, they didn't forget about that, and they kind of passed a little bit of that down to me. And, I'm sure, Iowa probably has some stuff that, we've done over the years too. And, maybe 2022, I don't know if we did something. But I think all those things start to add up just a little bit over time and, just puts a little extra emphasis on this game.
Hey, Heinrich, you came in together with a few guys who were going out in this senior day. One of them, Teddy, Nebraska kid. You think back to that COVID year recruiting class and how you guys couldn't visit, got to know each other. What thinking about that? What is your impressions leaving Nebraska of him and the impact that he's had on this program?
Yeah, I think that whole class, that class, there was a lot of in-state guys, and, not even in-state, but kind of more local guys. And, like you said, with COVID, we didn't get to really, I never took an official visit here because they were all shut down. And so we had to make our, we would all come together. I think there was 6 of us who came up here in 2020 before we got here, and kind of we took our unofficial official together. And, we got to know some of the guys and, drove up here together and had a good time. And, we really, we'd go spend a weekend at Teddy's house in Elkhorn, or, we'd all come together and, spend time. And I think that really brought us closer together, especially kind of that tighter, more local group. And, I can't say enough about Teddy and, the perseverance that he's had. I'm sure it gets highlighted, but I can't imagine having to deal with that much adversity, especially when, I remember watching Teddy my true freshman year line up against Aiden Hutchinson and locking him down. You start off with that success and then it's ripped from you, and then you build back up and it's ripped down again. And, as much as it really stinks for Teddy and his football career, that's someone that, if I showed up to a job one day and I had Teddy next to me, I'm not going to worry about, is Teddy going to get the job done? I know, he's going to fight, he's going to persevere through whatever adversity he has.
What are you most proud of this year as a tight end, or stands out about what you've taken on this season?
I think really a lot of the adversity that's kind of hit me. I think every single week I've tried to find something to accelerate with, something to improve on. And, even, I don't think there's a stretch where I didn't get the ball for a couple games. And, honestly, I don't really, I try not to keep track of that because that's not something that, I believe signifies the importance of a player and their contributions to the team, but just continuing to improve every single week, because that's all I can do. It's a tough position, just I'm sure like every other position in football at this level, and the transition is it's a challenge in a lot of different aspects. A lot of technique stuff that just have to continue to work on, even into this bowl practice. I seriously am looking forward to these bowl practices more than probably anybody else. Just because it's an opportunity for me to continue to get coached without kind of you get into the week to week game schedule, and there's not a whole lot of time to work on all that stuff. And So I'm going to use this bowl practice. I'm going to, work with Coach Satt, work with Coach Eck, work with Coach Holgorsen, like just trying to improve my technique moving forward and, just trying to get better every single day.
Your journey is obviously more unique than others. How has it just resonated with you, obviously, coming from Kearney, in-state quarterback prospect, to the moments of starting and now this transition, just as you reflect on all those things?
Yeah, I mean, it's a path of, ups and downs and valleys and mountains. And I think just at the end of the day, like this is probably one of the best paths that I could have been on for continuing to build my life after football and after college especially. I've gotten the opportunity to work with I don't know how many coaches and had all these great teammates and just continuing to plug through the adversity that hits when something doesn't go your way at this level. It's tough, and that is something that I really do pride myself on. Is like I don't view myself as someone who's going to run away from a challenge or run away from a fight. Like as I head off into whatever God has next for me, like I'm going to face it head on, and I'm going to do everything I can to succeed.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Hey.
Hey,
Question for Jaden?
what number of senior days is this for you?
It's my third, I think. Yeah, third. Yeah.
So, do you get emotional this time since you've been through it so many times? Like, how do you, like, it's a silly question, but not, like, how do you approach this week just knowing that you've been through this?
Yeah, I've been through this 3 times, so I'm a little less emotional and more focused on the game than most, just because like I thought it was the end every single year. So it's still emotional. It's still going to be my last time here. It's still hard, but focusing on the game is probably the most important thing for me right now.
As you reflect on your time here over the past 7 years, what are a couple memories that stand out to you as your favorites?
Oh, that's a loaded question. A lot. I mean, I can go back to 2019, 2020, when I was just hanging around DiCaprio Bootle, and Deontay Williams to now like Vincent Shavers and all the younger guys. So I can't really choose just one. Yeah, I know there's a lot, but just having all those memories to go with me into the future, I can't really speak much about it. I'm just kind of speechless about all the memories that I have. So, yeah.
Javen, when it comes to Iowa, it seems like every single year this game comes down to the wire, and you've played in a lot of them. What is it about Nebraska, Iowa that always makes the game so close?
Yeah, it's a battle of culture. It's a battle of nutrition. Like in quote terms, like the game's always going to come down to the fourth quarter, just because the way we play and the way we approach the game. It's always going to be a tough battle, and it shows out on the field.
What have you seen from Iowa with the run game and the way that the quarterback can run too?
Yeah, it's a little different this year. The quarterback can run this year. So it's a little different about Iowa. They're great offense. I mean, they know how to run the ball. They know how they have this physical team, and they know how to move the ball the way they want to. So we're just going to have to do what we need to do and stop the run.
Derek Branch and Michael Booker were up here.
Yeah.
Not just because your dad played here, but did that connection help build that friendship, or how would you explain that your trio of guys?
Yeah. To be honest, our parents had nothing really to do with any of that. We kind of clicked right away. We know since we've been through a lot of stuff together. They've been here for a long time. I've been here for a long time. It's easier to, especially like nowadays, it's easier to click and relate to them when in the locker room and on the field. So whenever they speak, I mean, I listen. Whenever I speak, they listen. So because we've been through the battles.
Branch talked to the team. He addressed their team yesterday. Just what was that like knowing?
Yeah, he's came a long way. He turned himself into a great player. That's all I can say about him. He's always hard worker. He's very smart, super intelligent, and knows what to do. So people rely on him. I rely on him to get his job done, and I rely on him to know what we have to do on special teams and on defense. And so when he came up, knowing what we've been through, he has a lot of emotion, especially to this game, just due to the fact that it's our senior night and it's the last game. So, and on top of that being Iowa, I mean, it's a rivalry game, and like every rivalry game, people have a little bit more emotion. But since it's his last go around, he was a little bit more emotional.
Coach Rule talked about turning the page from Penn State, even like on the plane. Did you see that the last few days from guys? They just moved on to what's ahead.
Yeah, Penn State obviously didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but we moved past it and we learned from it. We always got to learn from, like, there's no really failure in life. It's just how you view it. So I think we learned a lesson that game, and we're going to apply the lessons that we learned into this game.
How would you describe? You've been through a lot of these. Iowa's a rival.
A very disciplined, very rugged team, very sound, very tough. I mean, like, they're all the stuff that
I think we are. So like we're the same way. I mean, when we have our ups and downs like every football team, but we're kind of modeled similar. That's what makes the game more competitive, like comes down to the fourth quarter, like I said. So this rivalry, I mean, for the fans, it means everything to this place. So we're just trying to get another win, and we're going to treat this game like every other game.
Thank you. What does this rivalry mean to you as somebody who's from that state and plays here?
Yeah, I mean, it honestly doesn't mean as much as you think. I didn't grow up a fan of, Hawkeyes. Dad grew up my dad was a Notre Dame fan, so I grew up liking them. Sisters went to Iowa State, so, it doesn't mean that much coming from there. Obviously it's a big game because we're playing in it, just like every game. So just treat it the same way. Nothing special. It's just another ball game.
Did last year's game though ratchet up some of the feelings around this, the way that things happened before the game and then how they transpired during it?
Oh, could you repeat that?
Yeah, did the intensity of this rivalry ratchet up last year based on the way that game ended and what happened before it?
Yeah, I mean, are you talking about the handshake thing? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't out there for that. Honestly, I didn't even know what went on until, somebody had, texted me after the game with that. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, respect to their program. You got a lot of respect for them, respect for what they've built there over the past, 20 years. But, I mean, just like any rivalry game, I mean, the intensity is already high,
What stood out about TJ, even Saturday, maybe when it's not going quite as you want it to go, but how he controlled the huddle throughout the game and everything.
Yeah, he remained calm. He didn't freak out. He didn't start freaking out. That was really the first time he had been put into a situation like that. Because he came in during the USC game, but it was a little bit later in the game. And during UCLA, we had the lead the whole time. So I mean, that was the first time he'd been put in that situation. At least here, I don't know what happened in high school with him, how his games went, but it was great to see him just stay calm, stay cool. That's probably one of the biggest things I've seen from him is just how relaxed he is.
What do you think it is about this rivalry that always makes it come down to the wire?
Yeah, I think it's just the way that our team and their team play football. They're both of us are pretty comfortable in those close games now, and you want it to be close almost in a rivalry game. You don't want it to be a blowout by any means, and so I don't know. It's been one score since I've been here, and I mean I'm sure years before that it was too, but it just comes down to the way that both teams play football. Running the ball, physical. I mean games are going to be tight. That's just how it is.
Heinrich Harburg said that he's looking forward to bowl practices, maybe more than you'd think that a senior who's on his way out of the program is. What's your it was kind of a novelty last year. You hadn't been through it in your career. So I know you're thinking about Friday, but like if you
Pierhead, what are your feelings about next month and what that can mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, just a testament to not only Heinrich, but to, our whole senior class. And, credit to those guys. It's just a group of people who really just want to get better every day. They're not looking forward to saying, oh, we got this many days left. It's, all right, what can I do today to get better? What can I do tomorrow to get better? What can I do the next day? And, it's kind of been our mindset, our approach the whole season. And I believe that, as the year's gone on, we have gotten better in a lot of areas. And so it's really just the mindset that we've had and that we've been trying to, instill in the younger guys, like, hey, don't look towards the finish line, like sprint through it,
In today's world of college football, you see plenty of players who opt out of bowl games. What are your feelings? Not about that, but just about what next month can do for you, can mean for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more opportunities to improve. Whether, a guy stays here or goes to train somewhere, I believe that the most valuable reps are taken with the shoulder pads and helmet on, out there on the practice field. There's not many, drills that you can do in the off season to really simulate that because it's a whole different ball game once the pads come on. And so, these are, because how many bowl practices? We get 15 bowl practices, right? It's 15 more opportunities to get better, That's the way that I see it.
With it being senior day on Friday, as you reflect on your career here, what are some of your favorite memories?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the best memories, it's not all the wins, it's, the bonds that you've built here, the brotherhoods that have come with it. And, looking back, like some of the favorite people I've ever met in my life I've met in that locker room. And so it's much less the things that happen than the bonds that we've built in that locker room.
One of those that you built is with Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing everything that he's been through. What has he meant to you as a teammate?
Yeah, I mean, Teddy's one of the best teammates I've ever had, if not the best. I mean, if there's Purple Hearts for football, I mean, he should get one. With all he's been through. And just having a guy like that where so much is going wrong in his life, but his main focus is how can I add value to the team? How can I get better? How can I make the other guys around me better? How can I bring them up? And really putting other people before himself. Because he went through some really, really dark days. And I know that through all that, the thing on the front of his mind was, all right, like how can I coach up, the younger guys? I mean, he's still out there at practice now, just coaching us up, trying to make us better, because that's his main focus.
Anything else for Andrew? All right, great. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.